It's Wednesday, the 11th of February. From the MEN newsroom, this is Channel M's Lunchtime News, and these are today's headlines. Murdered despite living with extra security. New details emerge over the death of a woman from Salford.
Claire Wood's badly burnt body was found inside her home despite extra protection from a group that helps women who've been abused.
Also coming up, a mountain of stolen items. Now police are struggling to work out who it all belongs to.
If they have in fact been subject to a burglary or a theft within the past couple of months, to hopefully come down here and identify property and ultimately return it to its rightful owner.
And driving round the bend, and then some more. The 12-mile diversion that's left shopkeepers furious.
It'll totally cut all the businesses off, not just myself, which is a busy time for Valentine's, for the card shops and the gift shop.
Good afternoon. Today's top story, and more details are coming out about a woman found murdered in Salford. Police are searching for whoever killed Claire Wood and are currently looking for clues in the car of a suspect, which has now been recovered. Let's get the latest on this now from our reporter, Georgia Calvin-Smith.
George Appleton is thought to have used Facebook to contact women and is the main suspect into the death of his ex-girlfriend, 36-year-old Claire Wood, whose badly burnt body was found in a bedroom at her home in Blackfriars. Last night, police revealed that they'd found George Appleton's N-registered Ford Escort on this street called Greengate near Manchester city centre. The car had first been spotted on Monday and police had watched it throughout the night in the hope that Appleton would return. When he failed to come back, it was taken away to be examined for evidence. Police say they believe that Appleton had been sleeping in the car, and its discovery means that they'll be stepping up their search for him in Manchester city centre. The fire brigade has admitted that weeks before Miss Wood's body was found to have been consumed by flames in her home, she was considered to be at risk. She'd contacted the authorities fearing for her safety and had a security device fitted to her letterbox to prevent any burning materials being pushed through it. Police have warned women known to have been contacted by Appleton via social networking sites not to meet him. Georgia Calvin-Smith, Channel M News.
An arrest's been made over the murder of a teenager shot dead more than a year ago in Withington. He's been questioned over the death of 16-year-old Lewis Brathwaite at a betting shop in January of last year. The 18-year-old was picked up in the Longside area just a day after Lewis's mum made a new appeal for help in finding her son's killer. The number of people out of work has reached a 10-year high, but it has stayed just under the 2 million mark. 1.97 million are now without jobs. Those also claiming job seekers' allowance is up for the 12th month in a row to 1.23 million, the highest since 1999. Here in the northwest, the number of people out of work increased by 33,000 to 263,000. Those figures come as the head of the Bank of England warns the UK is facing a deep recession that may demand further action. Mervyn King says the economic downturn could be both longer and deeper than already predicted, and inflation will remain below its 2% target. A coroner has written to the Alexandra Hospital in Cheadle to raise concerns after the death of a 57-year-old man following a triple heart bypass. Sean Jackson's inquest has been told he died of heart failure just a few hours after the operation, but the court was told the standard of notes written about him by medical staff was shambolic, and the on-call surgeon and anaesthetist lived 40 miles away, adding a delay to the time before emergency treatment could be performed. More than 40 people have been injured when two buses came off the road in icy conditions in Gloucestershire. One, which was carrying army personnel, hit a tree at around 5:20 this morning, not far from Cheltenham. 3 people who were on board that are in a critical condition. Just over half an hour before, a minibus with 14 people on board crashed in Hynham. Motorists in Hindley near Wigan might be driven round the bend this weekend. They'll be sent on a diversion to avoid roadworks, and it's a detour that looks like turning into an epic journey.
Bridge Street in Hindley, Wigan, a short stretch of road that as of Saturday will be closed for an estimated 9 days so that United Utilities can lay new sewer pipes.
So it's taken me less than 2 minutes to walk the 50 yards or so that will be closed once maintenance work begins. But if I was in the car, I'd have to use the planned diversion route. And that's, wait for it, 12.5 miles.
As of Saturday, people wanting to get from one side of Bridge Street to the other will pick up United Utility diversion signs for a route through West Horton, over Hulton and Atherton, taking in Castle Hill Road, Wigan Road and Bolton Road, as well as some lovely scenery, but motorists are quite literally being sent round the houses.
Well, it's taken us 29 minutes to cover the full route of the diversion, and locals say there's no way that motorists are going to use it, and so a series of rat runs are expected to develop, which would see cars, lorries and HGVs crammed into small residential streets. Now, what's upsetting the local community even more is the expected impact on businesses.
Just next to Bridge Street is Market Street, home to a string of independent shops heavily reliant on passing traffic. Saturday's Valentine's Day, and for Margaret, a florist, it should be one of the busiest days of the year.
So it'll totally cut all the businesses off, not just myself, which is a busy time for Valentine's, for the card shops and the gift shops and things. So it is a worry at this time when things are difficult.
Well, we're concerned about the old ladies that can't get here, that come on the local link, and we're not sure the bus is going to be able to get to the shop, or, you know, where they're going to park. Some are in wheelchairs.
The loss of business, the fact that people are not being able to access, and because they're not being able to access, they're going to go somewhere else.
United Utilities says the work is essential and that using smaller roads isn't an option. So the people of Hindley are just hoping that work will be finished in 9 days and that everyone will then be back on the road to normality. Nina Warhurst, Channel M News.
Manchester's coat of arms is to get a redesign after 166 years. Designer Peter Saville has been given the task of updating the city's historic badge to come up with a new modern identity. The present coat of arms, which contains Latin words that mean by counsel and hard work, has symbols representing the city's past, including a ship that symbolises trading. Manchester's controversial sculpture is to be pulled down, but the city's council hasn't ruled out rebuilding the piece of public art at a later date. It was supposed to be a lasting tribute to the Commonwealth Games, but is currently fenced off for safety after some spikes fell off. The council leaders said no more public money should be spent on it. A meeting's also taking place later to discuss what will happen next at Tameside Hippodrome. Campaigners are hoping the building can be refurbished and brought back into use, but it's expected the council will say there's no money available. Now, with half-term coming up next week, most parents will be looking for things to do with the kids, and Manchester Museum's always a favourite destination. But there's a big debate raging about the Egyptian mummies on show there. The question being, is there just too much on show?
Well, we've been getting a whole spectrum of opinions about the mummies. In fact, many people felt that it was very important to keep the ancient Egyptian mummies on open display. Some people felt that the mummies should be covered in some way to be respectful towards them. And I think there's a consensus emerging. It's a consensus about putting these remains in a separate area and giving people the opportunity to choose whether they would like to see them or not. People would enter the gallery, they'd be able to see the great majority of the Egyptology collection, but within a space, it might be a screened or partitioned space. There'd be some kind of notice on the outside that would give people a warning about what they were likely to see, and people could choose, they could make up their own minds whether to enter that space or not.
Right, news now of a new man at the helm at Lancashire Cricket Club. With that and the rest of the sport, here's Mike Bradley.
That's right, James. Former England boss Peter Moores is the man charged with bringing the county championship back to Old Trafford for the first time in 75 years. That's after signing a 3-year deal with the club yesterday. Moores was axed by England last month and officially starts work on March the 1st. In 2003, before taking over in England, he helped Sussex clinch their first county championship for 164 years. But will he be able to guide Lancs to the same title? Well, the man who broke the news of Moore's appointment, Manchester Evening News cricket correspondent Chris Ostick, is optimistic about life under the new boss.
Well, the past couple of weeks we've known that Peter Moores has been in the frame and been favourite for the job, and really it was knowing that they've got the right man for the job. I think the club are confident of that. I think the fans will see that he is the right man for the job. Despite what's happened with England, he wasn't a great success, but county cricket's slightly different. And like I said, he has had the success at county cricket, and that's what Lancashire fans and members and the club themselves have been striving for several years now, silverware, and Peter Moores can deliver that.
In last night's League Two game, there was misery for Macclesfield. They crashed to a 4-0 away defeat against promotion hopefuls Exeter, and as a result, remain in 16th position in League Two. Salford City Reds have announced Rob Parker will be their new club captain, succeeding Mal Alka. And staying with the Reds, heads coach Sean McRae joined me on this morning's breakfast show with news on Saturday's opening Super League game at Willows against the Celtic Crusaders.
We're very confident. We've had a terrific pre-season. Played four games. The guys have improved. Little improvements, I guess, you look for every time we play, and I think we're certainly ready to play now. The Celtic Crusaders had a game against Leeds Rhinos last week, which was their first competition match. So some people are suggesting they've got a slight advantage over us, but I'm not sure. They hadn't played up to that game, so it's if last season's anything to go on, then it'll be a terrific game of rugby league, because we had some. I think we played each other 5 times, and I think we ended up winning 3-2, including that wonderful grand final, which went into overtime. So we're looking forward to it. We're ready to play. We haven't been at the Willows this year, so everybody's upbeat and very much looking forward to performing well.
And one final piece of rugby league news for now. Wigan's Richie Mathers has been found guilty of tripping an opponent. That was during his side's game against Wakefield. He's suspended for the games against Hull and Castleford and fined £300. Gus Hiddink looks set to pick up around £2.5 million to become the next manager of Chelsea, but will only be appointed until the end of the season, while Sven-Göran Eriksson has distanced himself from the vacant manager's job at Portsmouth, reiterating his desire to remain in charge of Mexico until after the 2010 World Cup. That's it from me for now, but please try and join Sam Goodman in our early evening news bulletins from 5 o'clock with more on Peter Moores, and look ahead to England's game against Spain this evening.
Mike, thank you very much for the update. Still ahead on the Lunchtime News, an absolutely unmissable Keith Chegwin moment. It's got to be seen to be believed, his ode to chips, and we check out one of the most expensive suits it's possible to buy here in Manchester.
It's about 6 months ago when I actually shown him the cloth, because we haven't had it in stock that long. We've shown it a few customers, but obviously with a price tag around about £5,000, there's not going to be, a huge, queue out the door for it.
Welcome back to Wednesday's Lunchtime News. Don't forget you can always go online to see our latest headlines and reports at channelm.co.uk right now. The report following the death of Greater Manchester's former Chief Constable Michael Todd that explains how he left himself open to blackmail, and pictures as well of an artist making a start on a major piece of art with a chainsaw. That's at channelm.co.uk. Now, we told you recently how burglaries are on the rise here in Greater Manchester, an increase of 14% in the most recent figures. Some have suggested the recession could be partly to blame. Well, it's now having another knock-on effect. As Kevin Duffy reports, it's a growing problem trying to reunite victims with their belongings.
A computer games console. It was probably somebody's birthday or Christmas present. Until, that is, it was taken in a burglary. Then it was recovered in a police raid. Now it's sitting in a storeroom, waiting to be reunited with its owner, along with hundreds of other items.
As a result of the recovery of this property, along with the press officer, which we have within Tameside, we've organised open days where the public are encouraged and invited to come down to Droylsden Police Station if they have in fact been subject to a burglary or a theft within the past couple of months, to hopefully come down here and identify property and ultimately return it to its rightful owner.
Now, you may well have been burgled, and you may well have lost a computer games console in that burglary. But you also need to be able to prove to police that the games console which they have recovered is the very same one that was taken from your home. And that's why police recommend security marking your property. There's many ways to do it, but one of the cheapest and easiest is to use a special marker pen. It's invisible to the naked eye, and it's only visible under ultraviolet light. And if any of this property can be reunited with its rightful owner, there may be a bonus, says PC David Wright.
by the members of the public attending these viewing evenings and hopefully identifying property, we can hopefully establish where these items have been stolen from. And then if there's offenders linked to those crime scenes, then subsequently it will assist in any kind of prosecution that we do bring against them.
If indeed the politicians are correct in linking the economic downturn with a rise in burglary, well, that's a cause for concern because the economic forecast is even more gloomy. It looks as though it's time to protect yourself. Kevin Duffy for Channel M News.
Two of the country's big teaching unions are getting together in London to officially call for all SATs tests and league tables to be scrapped from schools. The National Union of Teachers and the National Association of Head Teachers want new forms of assessment to be used instead and less focus on targets. Well, joining us to talk a little bit more about this is Avis Gilmore from the National Union of Teachers here in Greater Manchester. Avis, good afternoon. First of all, what's happening at this event in London today?
Well, we're launching a statement that's been formulated between the two unions, and I think it is important that it's teacher unions and head teachers who are calling for this. In response to Ed Ball setting up an expert group to look at Key Stage 2 assessments in schools, because we believe the remit is too narrow, and in our statement we've put forward a number of proposals which we believe will improve education for children in primary schools.
The SATs have already gone for 14-year-olds. I know younger pupils still have to do them. What worries do you have about schools still concentrating on meeting these tests requirements?
Well, it's very detrimental to the teaching. There can be no innovation when teachers are having to teach strictly to the test. And it's also extremely stressful for children, particularly in primary school, because if they don't meet the targets they've been set, they feel they've let themselves down, they've let the teacher down, and they've let the school down.
I know you've been campaigning on this issue for a long time. How hopeful of success are you? Given how long you've been campaigning, is it not the case that you're just being ignored at the moment?
Well, we think it is the right time to make a real push on this campaign because the Key Stage 3 SATs have gone, because this expert group has been set up to look at assessment right across Key Stage 2. So we feel we can have an input into that, but we can also try and extend that to look at the whole of the primary sector as well as just Key Stage 2. And there's all the funding issues connected with SATs as well. They're very expensive to run. There was the entire debacle last year with the marking of SATs. The contract for EdExcel to mark them this year is only for 1 year, so we've got every hope we'll be successful.
Well, we'll keep watching for any developments on that. Avis Gilmore, thank you very much for joining us this lunchtime. Next, how much would you spend on a good new suit? If you're going bespoke, it can be quite pricey. But when one tailor in Manchester city centre got an order for a £5,000 suit made of gold cloth, even he was surprised. So he sent Ben Bland, who else, to go and see how it measures up.
Suits you, sir? Well, when the cloth is woven with 22-carat gold, you'd certainly hope so. James Personal Tailor has been selling bespoke suits in Manchester since 1973. Most of them costing between £700 and £1,000 each. But this order has set a new record for them.
It was about 6 months ago when I actually shown him the cloth, because we haven't had it in stock that long. We've shown it a few customers, but obviously with a price tag around about £5,000, there's not going to be, a huge, queue out the door for it. So this gentleman, we did show it to him, and I could tell he was interested, but he was just saying he had a few deals coming off lately business-wise, and he wanted to see how they were going to come off before he placed the order.
It's all very well if you've got the cash to splash, but how much would you spend on a good suit?
Probably about £200, I think.
200?
Yeah.
Would you ever pay as much as 5,000?
No, I don't think so. No.
£500, 500 at the most.
There's a suit that's just been ordered made out of gold cloth.
It'd have to be. It'd have to be, and somewhere else, it'd have to be gold.
Spending £5,000 on a gold suit during a recession may seem somewhat extravagant. But there is a theory that at a time of economic downturn, people, especially in the city and in business, are even more concerned about looking successful to inspire confidence. Indeed, this tailor has seen a 25% increase last month on the same period last year, making it one of their best ever Januaries. But when you're a tailor cutting cloth that's woven with gold, the pressure is really on.
You've got to watch it, really, and you don't want to cut any corners. It's got to be an absolute, perfect suit.
They'll start work on the suit this week, and it should be ready for the customer to pick up in 6 weeks' time. And I'm sure whoever he is In his £5,000 suit, he'll cut a very fine figure indeed. Ben Bland, Channel N News.
The North West's best chip shop is being crowned. It's a hotly contested title, and the winner is to be presented with their prize by the TV legend that is Keith Chegwin. He joined us on this morning's breakfast show to explain a bit more about it. And brace yourselves, it started off less as Cheggers plays pop and more Cheggers sings chips.
Do you know, I love chips so much. In fact, I'm so in love with the potato. I really wish I were a spud, a Desiree or Morris Piper, King Edward covered in mud. I love me spuds on baked potato, sauté, mashed or roast, oven chips, jockeys, whips, curly fries or balls, covered in tomato sauce or gravy, curry, mushy peas. Either way, I love me spuds, they're really here to please. Sing at home. Chippy, chippy, chip, 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 chippy, chippy, chip. Don't put me off. Chip, chippy, chip, 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 chippy, chip, chip, chip. But I like a good crunchy chip with like a nice fluffy inside. Oh God, I'm boring.
I'm with you.
I do love it.
Crunchy ones are the best.
Oh, the crunchy one. You can't beat it, can you?
Ladies and gents, this is not just PR spiel. He genuinely believes this. This is all part of his inner being.
There's no PR, really. It's just, you know, voting for chips, really. It's just fun.
Because you are on a bit of a secret mission a little bit later.
I am.
You are touting around the country and looking at all different chip shops.
Yeah, what we did is we actually genuinely got people to go and survey places. We asked people to nominate via our website, you know, for their favourite chip outlet. And we got some of our experts to go and sample them and try them out. But this year, it was a little bit different, because not only did we want a good chip, we also wanted good service as well. Because, you know, to make that perfect portion, it's a nice little smile, a gesture, friendliness and that sort of thing. And we have found a place in this area. So around about midday today, I shall be going to the chippy and singing my chip song, You Lucky People, and delivering the water for National Chip Week. So good fun.
Are you allowed to tell us who it is? Or
Not
is that,
yet. No, there's an
under
embargo
wraps?
on it, you know. But we'll let you know first.
So apart from obviously the service and crispy on the outside, fluffy on the inside, is there any other criteria that has to make a sort of a great chip eating experience?
Oh gosh, you know, I mean, I've heard from people who run the different restaurants and chip outlets all over the country about how they cook their chips. You know, some of them, but vegetable oil seems to be the top one, really. You know, and the interesting thing about chips is that 8 out of 10 people look at us. Stop it. 8 out of 10 people watching this programme right now will have frozen chips in their freezer.
Wow.
Well, we'll tell you who's won that coveted title in the early evening news from 5 o'clock tonight. Time now to take a look at the weather forecast for the week. Here's Byron Evans.
Let's take a look at the weather for Wednesday, the 11th of February. A quick nosy outside, and it's relatively soggy. It's been spitting this morning, predominantly overcast. A few outbreaks of sunny intervals, but as I mentioned, pretty damp and wet for most of the day. Let's take a look at the region. Average temperatures between 6 and 7 degrees Celsius. Shouldn't get any higher than that. And, well, from this morning, it's averaged out pretty much the same from across the region, apart from Preston, which seems to be an oasis to itself these days. If you ever noticed, your sharp-eyed viewers amongst you will see that Preston weather is always different. Why is that? Heaven only knows. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the week, shall we? Because, well, watch out for some snow a little bit later this week. We've had some already, and if you can't do without, then expect some for Thursday. Cold temperatures as well. We're looking at lows at -3, even -6 on Saturday. Make sure you wrap up warm. Have a good day. Ta-ra for now.
That's all from today's Lunchtime News. We'll have more of the day's headlines with Andy Crane from 5 o'clock tonight, but from me and the rest of the Lunchtime team, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye for now.